you are an attractive person that constantly has people trying to humble you by ignoring you, you probably get egoed a lot, which pretty much means that you have people that ignore you on purpose so they can lower your self-esteem as a control tactic. People be thinking that as an attractive person, you probably just have everyone wanting to be your friend. It's a party everywhere and it's an amazing experience. But actually, it's very lonely because a majority of people you come across are intimidated by you and they will purposely ignore you, try to make it seem like they're better than you in some type of way, when in reality, you don't even be thinking like this. You just be trying to connect with people in a genuine way, but they be thinking, oh, who do you think you are? And because of that, you find yourself being to yourself a lot.
Hey ladies, and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to really dive deeply into this conversation because this is something that I have lots and lots and lots of lived experience in. People love to humble you by way of ignoring you. If you come into a space and you are brighter than every other light in that room, which is not to brag or to boast, but it's just simply who you are, you can't control your favor. Other people who feel inadequate, who don't feel good enough, who haven't discovered the star quality in themselves, who are not walking in authenticity, the list goes on. These people, if they can't outwardly hate on you, because it would make them look like an obvious hater, what they'll do is something very covert to control how other people interact with you, how you interact with others, and to control how you feel about yourself in that moment. And they will ignore you. Sometimes it's only one person. Sometimes one person can get multiple people to hop on the bandwagon in these social settings. It's very strange how they can all just come together and simultaneously agree to shut someone out energetically. And it's kind of like an unspoken sort of like consensus amongst all of them. Like they don't even have to say it. If they all are just intimidated, weak individuals, they'll automatically all just kind of like calibrate to that one default setting and just be like, yeah, we're just going to act like she's not here. We're just going to turn our backs. We're going to show in our body language that we don't want you here. We're going to say things to, make you feel like you're out of place. These are the things that people do, ladies. And when I was younger, absolutely this used to work. Absolutely this used to affect me because, again, I was coming from a place of ignorance and lack of self-love and just not being aware of the tactics that people use. I did not have a mother to tell me this because she was actively bullying me, right? So I didn't have an older woman who has experienced life to prepare me for these things or to put me on game, okay? So I'm learning all of these things by myself, having to put context clues together. Very painful way to learn lessons, but nonetheless, this was my life, and I know some of you can relate as well. Once you realize that people are using this tactic on you, and you realize that it's simply because you shine brighter than other people, don't let you be beautiful, don't let you have a great personality. All of these things are a recipe for people to ignore you and covertly make you feel bad about yourself even more. These people will try everything. They will try to make you think that you're doing too much. They'll glare at you in nasty ways, but not acknowledge you if you're in a social setting. So the only times they're acknowledging you is if it's meant to tear you down. They don't say hello. They don't speak to you. They don't want to interact in conversation. They want to make you feel small. They want to make you feel out of place, and they want to make you feel uncomfortable. First and foremost, that's something I notice. Because they can't control your beauty, they can't control your beautiful personality, they can't control your light and how other people probably perceive you well. What they will do is they will try to control how you feel about yourself in that moment because they're sharing a space with you. They're just kind of going off of their knee-jerk reaction and what they feel when they get around your energy, and they're just acting on that. They're acting on impulse. And these are people who have terrible impulse control. Like, they cannot control how they feel when they are triggered by someone because of their insecurity, because of their low self-esteem, because they have not done the work. So they let their internal feelings spew out onto the person who they're intimidated or threatened by. And, ladies, I think, again, for me, because I went through it and I've grown from it, now I literally feed off of this type of stuff. I do not let people think that they can control my internal world because they are struggling with themselves. I do not let people think because we are sharing a space, because I am in your vicinity, that means that you can control how I feel about myself by ignoring me, by making little snide remarks. I don't give people the power to do that. I always take my power back in every situation and in every circumstance, because you do not have the power over me to make me feel anything. And you'll see people start to get frustrated when they cannot make you dim your light, when they cannot humble you, when they cannot make you go into hiding. When you don't react to people trying to humble you by ignoring you, and you still take up space, you do not shrink into yourself or go into hiding or leave wherever you're at because they're not receiving you well. If you stand firm in who you are and stay and stick it out and do not let people run you out of places or control you, it holds up a mirror to what they're doing. It holds up a mirror to their face and says, look at you. Look at how you are behaving. Look at what you are doing to make another person feel bad because you feel bad. How ugly of you. And when I say holding up the mirror does so much more damage than you leaving the situation, you leaving is what they want. You're giving them an easy out. They don't want you in their space. They don't want you to be here. You being there makes them uncomfortable. It ruffles their feathers. Their demons are very unsettled around you, okay? They don't have peace internally or mentally because they're ruminating on you and your energy and your light and your beauty being in their vicinity. So you removing yourself or, running away or going into hiding, you're giving these people what they want. That's what they want. If you stay, it holds the mirror up and it forces them to have to acknowledge that they are the problem, not you. A lot of what people try to project onto you is just their own issues. It's their own weirdness. It's their own negativity. It's their own nasty feelings about themselves. But of course, they are struggling to be honest with themselves, do the hard work, because who wants to do hard work? It's not easy. They are avoiding the parts of themselves that they need to heal and grow from. They're basically avoiding evolution. Meanwhile, they're hating on the people who have evolved, right? So you holding up this mirror to them is literally forcing them to be like, oh yeah, I am the problem. I'm the drama. I am the one who's self-inflicting. And I'm trying to feel better about myself by making others feel bad about themselves. And, results may vary, because when you stand firm and you don't shrink and you don't let them control your psyche in these moments where they're trying to humble you, they can lash out. They can get a little bit more violent. They can get very nasty with their words. They'll try to intimidate you or talk to you crazy. Then, of course, you got to handle things how you got to handle it. Do what you got to do. Do not ever let people walk all over you. But at the minimum, I would say most people are very PUSSY, okay? They're not going to actually press you or do anything crazy to you when they are triggered and you stand firm. Most of the time, they're just going to roll their eyes, suck their teeth, huff and puff around you. That's the most they'll do because they really can't do anything. They can't put their hands on you. If they try, they're silly because they're going to jail, but they can't put their hands on you. They can't say anything to you directly because you didn't do anything to them directly. All they can do is roll their eyes, huff and puff, and have an attitude. But baby, that's your business. Do what you got to do. But I'm not going to shrink myself down or do anything of the sort to make you feel better. Most people, they will not go any further than that because they know it will make it obvious to the people around them that they are haters. No one wants to be perceived or looked at as a hater, as a jealous bitch. No one wants to be seen that way, right? So they will do all of these things that I'm talking about very covertly. Of course, there's the 1 or 2% that will be very overt. And in those cases, I've seen people, have to get in the field and fight. Like, we've seen this happen all the time. But what I'm saying is that is not the majority of the time. Majority of the time, people just want to covertly make you feel bad so that they can feel better about themselves. But the way you combat that and the antidote to that is standing firm. You do not react to them. You do not give them the satisfaction of shrinking, hiding, or leaving. You do not give them any ammunition to feel like what they're doing is okay. You always want to hold up a mirror by showing them and maybe even saying something back to them like, wow, what would possess you to say something like that? Wow, that was really not the nicest thing to say. That was kind of ugly. You want to just give them back whatever they're giving you, because again, a mirror is the only way to deal with these narcissists, these sociopaths, and these weirdos. So ladies, drop down in the comments section. Let me know your thoughts on this topic. Has anyone tried to humble you in covert ways? How do you handle covert humbling? I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. I'll also be leaving my email in the description box so you can share your stories there as well. Have a lovely day, ladies.